The 2018 high school football season officially kicks off tomorrow, but before we get things started, we want to announce our 2018 preseason power rankings here at WKBN. And Chad, we visited with a lot of teams over the last few months. This poll will mean absolutely nothing in the long run, but it's kind of fun to do.
It sure is. And what we learned over the last few weeks is there's a boatload of talent once again in the Valley, and certainly a lot of teams with their sights on week number 11.
Well, let's kick things off with our number 10 ranked team heading into the 2018 season. That is the McDonald Blue Devils. McDonald, of course, finished as co-champs of the Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference last year. This could have gone along different ways in that conference because both Springfield and Western Reserve are also expected to have good seasons, but there's something special about the Blue Devils.
The Blue Devils went 8-2 last year. They missed out on postseason play, but keep in mind those losses to Columbiana and Western Reserve, very close ones.
Some big changes for McDonald as well. They're moving away from the wing T offense for the first time in decades, and they're doing it because of the talent they have. Alex Cintron returns at running back with over 1,400 yards rushing last year, and Josh Selly, who was also a 1,000-yard rusher, moves to quarterback. Moving on, our number 9 ranked team heading into the 2018 season is the Crestview Rebels. Crestview obviously comes in again this season as an independent. They were 6-5 last year overall, snuck into the playoffs, and all 4 teams that beat them last year are back on the schedule this season.
And the Rebels are veterans of postseason play. They've been there in 12 of the last 14 years. They have a couple of big guns. Andrew Janssens with 1,000 rushing yards a year ago. Dylan Huff, 6 interceptions on the defensive side of the ball.
They're playing that independent schedule, hoping for the same kind of success South Range, one of their rivals, had last season, making it to the state Final Four. Next on our list at number 8, East Palestine. The Bulldogs, another tough call. They're part of the Eastern Ohio Athletic Conference, and they finished as champions of that last year at 7-0. Columbiana will also have something to say about this conference championship this year, but we picked East Palestine because they beat the Clippers last year head-to-head 31-22 and clinched a spot in the playoffs. The tough spot for East Palestine this year is they're moving up from Division 6 to Division 5 this year.
But they sport one of the most electric players in the entire area. Parker Sherry at quarterback, 3,600 total yards, 41 touchdowns. His fellow teammate Dominic Posey, 1,000 yards on the ground. He's a true playmaker.
East Palestine will try to become the first team in school history to make it to the playoffs in back-to-back years. Moving on, our number 7 ranked team heading into the season is the GIRARD Indians. And boy, what a season GIRARD had last year. 10 wins. They made the playoffs. They're in the All-American Conference Blue Division, where there will be some serious competition. LeBray was just 5-5 last year, but the Vikings are very good heading into this season. The reason we picked GIRARD, the success last year, including the game against LeBray, where they won 55-21.
It's that offense that gets a lot of the publicity, but Jack Del Garbino is a guy to watch up front once again. He's a state champion in wrestling. He was a 5 blocks of granite winner. And of course, offensively, Mark Wade, he has done such a tremendous job. 3,500 passing yards, 1,000 yards on the ground, 56 total touchdowns. That's a lot.
Of the 56 touchdowns, 37 of those were through the air. He only threw 3 interceptions all season long. That is an unbelievable stat. The tough part for GIRARD, they will be in Division 4 in the playoffs with the likes of Mooney, Hubbard, and the defending state champions, Steubenville. Number 6 on our preseason power rankings is across the state line, the Wilmington Greyhounds. They have a new head coach this year for the first time in decades. Brandon Fillion will take over for Terry Varelli. And of course, he's been with the Hounds program a long time. Finished state runner-up last year with 14 wins. The downside for the Greyhounds, they lost 2 1,000-yard rushers.
But the cupboard is not bare. Quarterback Robert Pontius returns along with running back Cam Merritt. Up front, they're loaded. Colton Richards and Jim Reed both back. And that defense pretty darn good as well. 6 shutouts last season.
They will compete in Region 4, and they will start the season with a bang with games at Sharon and at FARRELL, who we'll talk about in just a little bit. Moving on, our number 5 team ranked in the power rankings heading into the season, we go to Hubbard, where the Eagles are coming off a 5-5 season. That is a rarity. It's the first time they've finished with a non-winning record since 2000.
This team loaded with weapons on both sides of the ball. It starts on the defensive side. Lucas Masora, a linebacker, an eye-popping 162 tackles, 20 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. On the offensive side, running back Rafael Morales returns into the backfield. Davion Daniels is a true dual threat at quarterback.
Yeah, they've got playmakers all over the field, not just those guys that we talked about. And they've got a big matchup coming in week 2 against Girard, who's also in our power rankings. Hubbard's one of those teams that starts the season in our power rankings 5th, but by the end of it, they could be number 1. They're that good. Moving on, our number 4 ranked team heading into the 2018 season, SHARON. The Tigers are the defending District 10 champions. They were in the state Final Four last year, and we know they can score. They've averaged over 32 points per game each of the last 3 seasons.
They have plenty of talent. They return 1,000-yard rusher Jordan Wilson. He could reach 4,000 for his career, and also quarterback Lane Voidick, 2,000-yard passer as well, is back.
And again, they'll start the season with a bang, taking on those Wilmington Greyhounds. Our number 3 ranked team heading into the 2018 season, the Boardman Spartans. We were at camp with the Spartans this year. Talent all over the place. Let's start with their quarterback, Michael Ahoro, back for the 3rd year under center, and he's far from the only experienced veteran. How about Tino Arcuri, a Division I recruit? A 3-year, 2-way starter for them. Joe Iaresi, Kareem Hamden, Alex Huzika, all really talented players for Boardman, and of course, they coming off a playoff run with the same schedule minus Steubenville, so everything looks good for the Spartans heading into the year.
Could they be the first team in school history to make it back-to-back trips to postseason play?
That'll be the big question. Our number 2 ranked team heading into the 2018 season, Cardinal Mooney. And speaking of teams with star players.
Absolutely. Loads of talent, major Division I talent. Luke Fulton, a Michigan State commit at linebacker, Sharif Jamison, Kyle Jornigan, at least a dozen college offers apiece. Cardinals seeking their 9th state title. They've been to the playoffs in 13 of the last 15 years.
They will compete again in Region 13, and that's tough. That's where Steubenville is. They went 15-0 last year. The Big Reds ended Cardinal Mooney's season. We'll see if the Cards have something to return the favor this season if they qualify for the postseason and things look good right now. And finally, our number 1 ranked team heading into the 2018 season, the FARRELL Steelers. This is without question one of the best small school rosters I've ever seen. Jordan Townsend, a wide receiver with over 1,500 yards receiving returns and 22 touchdowns. Pittsburgh commit Kai Wright. He'll come back this year. Following that injury from last season, he'll be the team's quarterback. Kobe Hilton, a lineman up front with a full ride to Akron. And Christian Lewis at running back with over 1,300 yards last year. He's also committed to Albany.
And the Steelers went all the way to the state semifinals a season ago. They could win the whole thing here this fall.
It will be tough to beat in Region 1 for sure, so the FARRELL Steelers, our number 1 ranked team heading into the 2018 season. Look for more of our WKBN Power Rankings every Wednesday throughout the regular season right here at WKBN.com.